Welcome back to the deep dive, where we kind of take all this information you've been meaning to get to and just extract the absolute gold from it.
Yeah.
And today we are diving into something pretty profound.
Yeah, it is.
A talk by philosopher Alan Watts called Man is a Hoax.
Ooh, now that sounds a
No.
little bit conspiracy theory-ish, but
Right.
don't worry, we're not going to go full conspiracy theory on you.
We're not.
It's more like
No.
taking a magnifying glass
Okay.
to the way we live
Yeah.
and asking, like, what if society's got us chasing the wrong things?
Yeah, like what if this whole setup from school to work to retirement
Right.
is based on some misunderstanding of who we are, like at our core?
Totally.
Yeah.
Watts kicks things off with this really striking image.
Okay.
He talks about the dollar bill
Mm-hmm.
as a promise to pay.
Oh, okay.
He's saying just like that dollar society keeps dangling this happiness in front of us, but it's always just out of reach. It's always tomorrow.
Oh, that is so true.
Right.
Like, how often are we delaying gratification?
Mm.
I'll enjoy life once I get that promotion, or I'll travel the world when I retire.
Yeah.
Are we missing out on the present by always focusing on the future?
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And Watts argues that this mentality starts really early,
Okay.
like with the education system.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah. We spend years in school,
Uh-huh.
then maybe college, always prepping for that next step.
Right.
But are we truly learning how to live
Right?
or just how to jump through hoops?
That's a really good question.
Right.
Because it's like we're always getting ready to live,
Yes.
but never actually living.
Exactly.
And then there's the whole work thing.
Oh, yeah.
And Watts points out that most jobs are so unsatisfying that we literally have to be paid to do them.
That's crazy when you think about it like that.
Yeah, like why is that?
It's as if we've just accepted that work has to be this separate thing from our passion.
Right. This thing we just endure.
To earn money.
To earn money.
We're fun later.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But what if work could actually be an expression of who we are,
I like that.
rather than
Yeah.
simply a means to an end?
Okay, so we've got society pushing this delayed gratification, this
Mhm.
work-life separation. And then Watts throws this curveball.
Okay.
The idea that our sense of self,
Mhm.
the person that we think we are,
Yeah.
is actually a major source of frustration.
And he uses this word person
Okay.
in a very specific way
Okay.
in its original sense.
Right.
It's like a mask,
Right.
like a persona we present to the world.
Yeah, okay.
He gives this example of a girl
Okay.
who's told that she's beautiful,
Uh-huh.
but she's like, no,
Yeah.
that's just my body.
Oh, wow.
That's not me.
That's interesting.
Yeah, she's separating herself from her physical form,
Right.
highlighting this disconnect between who we believe ourselves to be.
And who we actually are.
So if the person is just a mask,
Right.
who are we beneath it?
Watts suggests that at our core,
Right.
we're not these isolated individuals,
Okay.
but something much more interconnected,
Interesting.
woven into the very fabric of existence.
So not separate,
No,
but very much a part of.
exactly.
Right.
He asks us to consider this.
Okay.
Do you breathe,
I do.
or are you breathed?
Oh.
It's about blurring the lines between what we perceive as voluntary actions
Okay.
and those that just happen,
Yeah.
like our heartbeat
Right.
or digestion.
Oh, so like we're not separate from these processes. We are these processes.
We are the process. And if we zoom out even further,
Yeah.
we're not even separate from the world around us.
Well,
But an expression of it
it's all connected.
is all connected.
Okay.
And that's where Watts drops this mind-blowing image,
All right.
the universe as an ongoing Big Bang
Whoa.
with each of us, like a unique wiggle
I like that.
in this cosmic dance. Like imagine throwing ink at a wall.
Uh-huh.
Each splatter is part of that same initial action, just expressing itself in a different form.
So instead of seeing ourselves as these like separate, isolated beings, we're actually part of this massive,
Yes.
interconnected web of energy stemming from the same source.
Exactly.
All right. So then the idea of like a fixed
Right.
separate me,
Starts to dissolve.
it's like we've been tricked into believing in this illusion of separateness,
Mm-hmm.
when really we're all part of one big, beautiful mess.
Here you are.
Which brings us back to Watt's idea of the hoax.
Yeah.
It's not that someone deliberately set out to deceive us,
Right.
but that the way we've structured our lives, our beliefs about ourselves,
Yes.
have kind of led us away from this deeper truth.
They have.
In many cultures, this truth of interconnectedness.
Yes.
It's revealed through like initiation rituals.
It's like a secret hidden in plain sight.
Oh, wow.
Just waiting to be uncovered.
So is there a way to tap into this deeper understanding?
Absolutely.
Even without some formal initiation?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Watts suggests that practices like meditation and mindfulness can actually help us access this awareness to shift our perception and experience this interconnectedness directly.
Okay, so we can kind of
feel it.
Feel it, yeah.
But that brings up another question about our actions.
Okay.
If we're all part of this cosmic dance, does that mean individual responsibility goes out the window?
Because if everything's connected, where does my choice begin and end?
Oh, right.
Like if I mess up, can I just blame it on the universe?
Watts addresses this head on.
Okay.
He's not a fan of passing the buck.
Oh,
you know, he criticizes this tendency to blame our parents, society, even Adam and Eve for our problems. He uses this funny example of like God saying, hey, I'm not responsible for that serpent. He did it on his own.
It's like we're constantly looking for someone or something else to blame.
Yes.
Instead of owning our choices.
Exactly.
But how do we reconcile personal responsibility with this idea that we're all connected?
That's the paradox, isn't it?
It is.
Acknowledging our interconnectedness doesn't negate our individual responsibility.
Okay.
In fact, it empowers us to act with more awareness and compassion. Our actions, they have ripple effects. They impact the whole web of life.
So it's not about giving up our sense of self.
No.
But expanding it. To include this understanding.
Yes.
That we're part of something much bigger.
Exactly.
Their choices matter.
They do.
Not just for ourselves.
Yeah.
But for like the whole tapestry of existence.
Exactly. And that realization can be both liberating and daunting.
I bet.
It challenges us to step out of our limited ego and embrace a more expansive view of who we are and what we're capable of.
But if we're not really the person we think we are, then who are we?
That's the million-dollar question.
It is.
And Watts doesn't offer a simple answer. Instead, he challenges us to explore this question for ourselves. To confront that illusion of a separate me and discover our true nature. He even shares this anecdote about a Zen master who playfully pushes his student to find their true identity beyond the limitations of ego.
It's a reminder that this search for self-discovery is like a lifelong journey.
It is.
Not a destination.
Exactly.
But what does all this mean for us, the listeners?
Yeah.
What are we supposed to do with this mind-bending information?
Well, Watts doesn't offer a prescriptive path. He's not about giving us a to-do list.
Gotcha.
Instead, he invites us to question everything. To examine our beliefs and assumptions about the world and our place in it. To really dig deep and see if what we believe is truly serving us.
Like, is this really what I think? Or am I just going along with what I've been told?
Exactly. So he seems to be saying the first step is recognizing that hoax to see through that illusion of separateness and that constant pursuit of future happiness that society keeps pushing. And from that place of awareness, we can start exploring new ways of being, new ways of relating to ourselves, to others, and to the world.
I like that.
We can start living more fully in the present moment, appreciating that interconnectedness of all things.
That's a profound challenge.
It is.
But also an incredibly exciting opportunity.
It is.
If we let go of the old ways of thinking, who knows what we might discover. It's like we're being given permission to rewrite the script of our lives.
Yes.
To step outside the box and create something new, something more authentic.
Exactly. And that journey of self-discovery is a constant unfolding, a process of shedding those old layers and revealing new depths of understanding. And the insights from Alan Watts can serve as valuable guideposts along the way.
This has been a truly thought-provoking deep dive so far.
Yeah, it has.
I don't know about you, but I'm definitely feeling the need to ponder some of these ideas further.
Me too. It's amazing how Watts can take these complex philosophical concepts and make them so relevant to our everyday lives.
Absolutely. And remember, everyone, this is just a starting point.
It is.
We encourage you to explore Watts' work further. See what resonates with you. You might be surprised at what you uncover about yourself.
Yes.
And the nature of reality.
You might, and who knows?
Yeah.
You might even start to see the world in a whole new light.
That's a good point.
But before we go too far down that rabbit hole,
Okay.
let's take a break and come back for part 2
Okay.
of this deep dive.
Sounds good.
Where we'll unpack even more of Watts's mind-bending wisdom.
I can't wait.
Me too.
Okay.
One of the things that makes Watts so engaging is like his use of humor.
Yeah.
You know, he's dealing with these deep philosophical concepts,
Yeah.
but he doesn't make it feel heavy or preachy.
Right.
Like that bit about everyone blaming their parents.
Oh, yeah.
And then the parents blaming their parents.
Right.
All the way back to Adam and Eve.
Right. It's like, come on.
It's funny.
Yeah.
But it also highlights how quick we are to deflect responsibility.
Yeah, we don't want to take ownership.
We don't want to own it.
Yeah.
It's as if we're all playing this cosmic game of hot potato.
I like
with blame.
Okay.
Desperate to get rid of it as quickly as possible.
Yeah, just get it away from me.
Get it away from me.
Yeah.
But Watts offers a different perspective. Instead of seeing ourselves as these like isolated, flawed individuals,
Right.
he suggests we're symptoms of the earth.
That's interesting.
Expressions of something much larger.
Okay.
It's a radical shift, isn't it?
It is.
To see ourselves not as separate from nature,
Right.
but as a part of it.
Okay.
Like a flower blooming from a plant.
Yeah.
Or a wave rising from the ocean. Like
we're not separate.
we're not separate.
We're a part of it.
We're an extension of it.
Okay.
And those moments when you feel totally connected to something larger,
Yeah.
like when you're lost in nature
Right.
or absorbed in some creative activity, Watts suggests those aren't just fleeting feelings.
Good.
They're glimpses of a
Right.
fundamental truth.
It's like in those moments, the sense of a separate me disappears.
Yes.
And you become part of something great.
You become part of the whole.
Yeah. But if we're all interconnected,
Right.
doesn't that mean our actions have a much bigger impact
Yes.
than we realize?
It's like the butterfly effect.
Right.
Even the smallest choices can ripple outwards
Wow.
and have unintended consequences.
Which is a bit daunting.
It can be, but also empowering.
Yeah.
If we truly understand our interconnectedness,
Yeah.
we can start to act with more intention,
Right.
knowing that our choices affect not just us,
Right.
but the whole web of life.
Yeah, like we have this incredible responsibility.
I do.
But also this amazing opportunity
Yes.
to make a positive difference.
To make a difference. But
Yeah.
how do we actually do that?
I
How do
know.
we bridge that gap
Yeah.
between understanding interconnectedness
Right.
and living it?
That's the million-dollar question.
It is.
It's one thing to grasp these concepts intellectually,
Right.
but how do we actually integrate them into our daily lives?
Well,
Yeah.
Watts points to practices like meditation and mindfulness.
Okay.
These can help quiet that constant chatter of the mind and tune into a deeper level of being.
Okay.
It's about shifting from that state of detention,
Detention.
that feeling of being a separate, isolated ego,
Okay.
to sensation,
Ascension.
which is characterized by openness and connection.
Okay, so detention is like being caught in that tight knot of self-concern.
Mm-hmm.
And ascension is more like relaxing into the flow of life,
Yes,
realizing that we're part of something bigger.
exactly. And while it can be challenging to shift our perspective like that,
Yeah.
we don't have to do it alone.
Right.
There are tons of resources out there.
Okay.
Books, podcasts, workshops
Yeah.
that can guide us on this path of self-discovery.
I like that about Watts, that he
Uh-huh.
doesn't present this as some like rigid dogma
No.
set of rules.
No, it's not about that.
Right.
It's an invitation to explore,
Yeah.
experiment,
Yeah.
and find what works for you.
Right.
It's about waking up to that true nature of reality
Uh-huh.
and our place in it.
And it's not about achieving some perfect state of enlightenment either.
No, it's an ongoing process,
Yeah.
a journey with peaks and valleys.
Right.
There will be moments of clarity,
Mhm.
moments of confusion,
Yeah.
times when we feel deeply connected,
Yeah.
times when we feel lost.
Right.
The key is to keep exploring,
Okay.
keep questioning,
Yeah.
keep seeking.
It's about embracing the whole messy, beautiful journey of being human,
It is.
isn't it?
Yeah.
And finding a way to navigate it
Mm-hmm.
with a little more wonder,
Yes.
compassion,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe even some humor along the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because even amidst all the chaos and
Yes.
uncertainty of life, there's a profound beauty to be found in this interconnected dance of existence.
And we're all a part of it.
We're all a part of it.
Whether we realize it or not.
Whether we realize it or not. You know what's fascinating about Watt's talk is it's not just about, like, personal awakening. It's about societal transformation, too.
Interesting.
You know, he's not just critiquing individuals.
Right.
But, like, the systems that keep this hoax of separateness alive.
It's like he's saying, hey, we built this whole society on some flawed assumptions.
Right.
And it's time to re-examine them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he specifically calls out the education system and that whole work-life dichotomy.
Oh, yeah.
Think about it.
Okay.
We spend years in school prepping for the next step.
Right.
Then we work jobs that often feel so disconnected from our true selves.
Right.
It's like we're constantly chasing something.
Yeah.
But we never really stop to ask, is this actually making me happy?
Yeah, does this align with who I am?
Exactly, at my core.
Yeah.
Okay, so where do we go from here?
Right.
Are we supposed to just abandon everything and become hermits in the woods?
Watts isn't suggesting a complete rejection of society.
It's more about questioning the systems, seeing how they might be perpetuating this illusion of separateness, and then imagining new ways of living and organizing ourselves that are more in harmony with our interconnected nature.
So it's about finding that sweet spot between individual needs and collective responsibility.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
And that's where things get really interesting.
It does.
Because it's not just about changing ourselves.
Right.
It's about creating a culture that supports this kind of awareness.
Yes.
Right.
A culture that values things like connection, compassion, creativity over things like competition.
Oh, yeah.
Consumption, conformity.
It sounds like a radical shift.
It is a radical shift.
But looking at the state of the world.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the kind of shift we need.
Maybe it is.
Think about the challenges we face.
Yeah.
Climate change, social injustice, political polarization. All of these stem from this sense of separation.
Yeah.
A belief that we're somehow not in this together.
Right.
It's like that old saying.
What's that?
We're all in the same boat.
Yeah.
But some of us are hoarding life jackets.
That's a good one.
When we see ourselves as separate, it becomes easier to exploit.
Right.
Harm others for personal gain.
It does.
But when we recognize our interconnectedness, when we truly grasp that we're all part of this same web of life, it becomes much harder to justify actions that cause harm.
So much harder.
So it's not just about personal growth.
No.
It's about creating a more just, sustainable, compassionate world.
Exactly.
And Watt's ideas give us a framework for doing that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
His work reminds us that we have the power to choose a different path, to create a society that reflects our highest values and aspirations.
Right.
It's a call to action.
I like that.
An invitation to step into our collective power and co-create a world that's worthy of our hearts and minds.
That's beautiful. This has been quite the journey.
It has.
I'm feeling both challenged and incredibly inspired.
Me too.
Watt's words are like a light, illuminating a path toward a more meaningful and fulfilling way of life.
Yeah.
And the best part is,
what's that?
That path is open to all of us.
It is.
That's the beauty of it.
It is.
The journey of awakening is available to everyone.
So everyone.
Right.
Yes.
It's not about achieving some special status or enlightenment. It's about recognizing the truth that's already within us.
Yeah.
The truth of our interconnectedness, our inherent worthiness, and our infinite potential.
And as we embrace that truth, as we let go of the old stories and step into our authentic power, we become agents of change.
I like that.
Co-creators of a world that's more aligned with love, compassion, and understanding.
Beautifully said. And remember, everyone, this is just the beginning of the conversation.
Yeah, keep it going.
We encourage you to explore Alan Watts' work for yourselves. See what sparks your curiosity.
Yeah.
What challenges your assumptions.
What opens your heart.
What opens your heart. And if you're feeling called to dive deeper into this journey of self-discovery, we invite you to visit www.ultimatemasters.org/coaching.
Lots of good stuff there.
Yeah. There you'll find resources and support to guide you along the way.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the mind of Alan Watts.
It's been a pleasure.
Remember to check back daily for new episodes, exploring all sorts of fascinating topics.
We'll see you next time.
Until then, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep embracing the mystery and wonder of life. It's all part of the cosmic dance, and we're so glad you're dancing with us.
We are